At these brothers. Man, it's something you need to understand when it comes to the relationship you're in, brothers. You need to understand that the woman you're with is either using her power for you or she's using her power on you. There's no in between. I'm going to say it again, man. I really need y'all to embrace this and understand what I'm saying. The woman you're in a relationship with, she's either using her power for you or she's using her power on you. You know what I'm saying? And like to even understand what I'm talking about, you really have to understand the power of a woman. And I talk about this every once in a while, man. And I'll say this: the power that a lot of women have, a lot of them can't even speak to this power they have. A lot of them don't even know this power they have. And I can tell this by, like, when a question ever comes up, and I'm talking about when I'm scrolling online, when the questions comes up and they say, hey, what do you bring to the table? When a woman starts saying, well, I am the table and I ain't bringing that, when she gets to talking that type talk, I said, oh, she doesn't know who she is. Because if I was a woman and somebody said, hey, what do you bring to the table? Oh, brother, I'm going to come with all these spiritual attributes. You know what I'm saying? And one of the powers, or specifically the power that I'm talking about is, and I've talked about this before, brothers, is her ability to paint a picture. Her ability to be an architect in your life. If you've ever seen that movie, and I forget about it every time I bring it up, that movie with DiCaprio in it, that movie where the buildings were flipping upside down. There was a point in the movie, man, where he was seeking out an architect to build this world for him. And if you really understand what's taking place, what they're trying to portray, they're really showing this woman's ability to create a world around that man so he can operate in it. What's the name of that movie? I know somebody's gonna say it in the comment section, right? So you gotta understand, every woman has that power, and she's either using that power for you or she's using that power on you. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is, like, a lot of time, I'll use some real world examples, and it might be something I've talked about before. There was once upon a time, right, many moons ago, man, where I was in a situation, man, where I had nothing. I had nothing. I pretty much, it was the lowest point I've ever seen in my life. And it just so happened that I met a young lady that was pretty much in the exact same scenario. Like, neither one of us had 2 pennies. We probably only had 2 pennies to rub against each other, between the both of us, man. But we had a vibe. We had a history. We had known each other, man. And we came together and connected. And we connected on that level. And one thing that even when it was taking place, I couldn't really understand was, how could I have gone from this energy of being in this depressed state to now I'm sitting, in this house with this young lady, no furniture, no cable. We're watching the same DVDs over and over, sharing TV dinners and sharing appetizers from Applebee's. I said, how can I go to that state to all of a sudden I'm feeling like I can conquer the world now? You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I didn't want to say, oh, well, this woman is giving me energy. I didn't put it on that. But what that woman was doing, she was exercising her power, whether she knew it or not. In other words, she could paint the illusion of the world on where I was going. You know what I'm saying? So when a woman first meets a man, the first thing she needs to ask him is, who are you and where are you going? Like, because if I plan on being an asset to you, I need to know what world to build around you. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happened, man, that me and this woman were sharing our thoughts. I was sharing my vision, and she built this world around me. So even though I'm sitting in pretty much a destitute low situation, we're both sitting in that situation, I felt like I was somewhere else. Then I created that world that I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Even I remember telling her, and this was years ago, man. I remember telling her one time, I said, it's weird because, like, when me and you go out, whether we go to a Rangers game or we go to a football game, I said, you have this ability. And again, I didn't even know the stuff that I knew now. Like as far as that, I said, you have this ability to make me feel like the only man in the room. It was the weirdest thing. Like we could be somewhere, man, and it's crowded, and she had the ability to put this bubble around us where it felt like whatever was going on, like our situation was the only situation in existence. Having no idea that was a power. That's a power that a woman possesses. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that power that a woman possesses, what I'm talking about, she's either using that power for you or she's using that power on you. You know what I'm saying? I can think about another scenario. Fast forward, some several years, where I can think about a scenario where it was a complete opposite of the first one I spoke about. I was in a situation, man, where a woman used that same power to create this world around me. To create this world around me like, hey, you know what? This is what I am. This is what we are. I want to pour into you. I want to build your kingdom. I want to be a part of what, this whole scenario of what most relationships look like. And lo and behold, over time, I understood that world that was created around me, like she wasn't in that world with me. Meaning she had created a world, but she was on the outside of that world. In other words, she had created a world to have me in. She had created a world to have me within this illusion. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like a woman is either using that power for you or she's using it on you. Because a lot of times brothers will find themselves in situations where it's like, let's say, for example, something goes south or your woman steps out and she's creeping with somebody. A lot of times, a lot of men are like, I did not see that coming. Like I did not see that coming. And it's because that woman put you in a bubble. She put you she used her power against you. And it's the same power that Proverbs talks about in Proverbs 5 when it says, hey, this woman's words are powerful. Like stay away from this woman because her words, in other words, her words have the ability to paint an illusion around you. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to understand women are powerful, man. And that's one of the things that makes them beautiful. This power that they have, man. But you got to understand, you're either in her world with she's either in your world with you or she's painting a picture around you, man, and you don't even see what's taking place. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this. First thing I'll say is this. Like, if you're a man, because I'll say this is how a lot of men fall victim to it. If you're a man and you're with a woman and you think in your mind, like, man, I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed that I found a woman that will never step out. Like, man, I got that 0.001 woman. Like, this woman will never step out. Like, I'm the luckiest man. If you feel like that, you're already moving wrong, bro. You're already setting yourself up for failure. Because I'm not finna sit here and say that every woman cheats and all that kind of stuff, because every woman doesn't cheat. But I will say this, every woman will go. Every woman will go. Every single woman, if the stars align right, if y'all situation is doing a certain thing, if Joe Blow comes through and he spits a certain game and everything just lines up, your woman will go. Every woman. So the first thing is you got to get out your mind. Like, you will fall into this victim of being in a world that she created around you if you think she's one of them ones that will never step out. Even Mother Teresa will step out. So that's the first thing, man. But understand her power, man. And I guess if there were some things you needed to be aware of, or some things that you needed to look out for, man, to see if she's this kind of woman that will move like that. Like, there are some things that you can look. And I'll say this, and I'm not sure who this was I was talking to the other day. Who was I talking to? It might have been my brother EJ. It might have been somebody. It was somebody here in Bangkok. And I was saying this. I said, man, you know what? One thing I noticed about these women in Bangkok, that, you know, as far as their energy. Like when you see a woman with a man, like 9 times out of 10, you can see that bubble she's created around her man. It's so evident here. And it's so evident because you don't see it as much back home in America, right? So I'm saying, like, you can see a couple out mainly on motorbikes or 7-Eleven, and when you see them together, you can literally see the aura she's placed around both of them, and you can feel her aura of saying, "Don't even shoot your shot. Don't even look over here like it's me and my man." Like, that's something you see all over Thailand. So when people talk about, "Hey man, women overseas are different," it ain't that women overseas are better. Women are women. Their nature is nature. But a lot of women understand this power, and they're just raised to be in this power, right? So it's so evident. But I would say, man, if you had to identify some things, man, to say, man, you know, what side of the fence is my woman on? I would say, I don't know, it's a lot of things, man, but I would say one thing that's a red flag when it comes to this conversation I'm having is, and this is going to be most women, understand what governs her actions. Like, what is she governed by? Is she governed by the law of y'all's relationship, the agreement that y'all have, or is she governed by her emotions? Like, is she just moving and operating based on how she feels right now, or is she respecting the law of the relationship? And I understand right now that's going to eliminate 90+% of women, because most women operate out of the emotional state. You know what I'm saying? In other words, what I mean is this. Y'all, let's say y'all been talking for a few months. Y'all been talking for a spell, whatever, right? And y'all get into some slight argument over something that doesn't cause it doesn't you know, have cause for a breakup, but it's like, hey, you know what, we're gonna go the rest of the day and we ain't talking on the phone. Like, let's just both go to our respective corners for the next day and just kind of chill and reflect. What she does over those next 24 hours is going to tell you a lot about her. What she posts on social media over those next 24 hours is going to say a lot about how she operates. The messages, if any, that she sends to you, what she's saying in those messages when she's in an altered emotional state where y'all kind of have a little, it's going to tell you a lot about what she's governed by. And if she's governed by her emotional state and not the law of the relationship, brother, odds are that woman is attempting to build a world around you, attempting to put you in an illusion, to have you roaming around this world, you know, in a state that really isn't a reality. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, you know, a lot of times you might be on social media. You might be on social media, man, and you following this chick, you know, some lady, man, and all of a sudden it's like, man, she's posting, or let's say you in a relationship, and you've been in a relationship 3, 4, 5 months, a year, and y'all having y'all first real fallout to the point where y'all not talking, and all of a sudden, she posting over this 24, 48, 72 hour period, she's posting different kind of content. It's like, damn, it's like, man, you've been on Instagram this whole time. I ain't never seen you post your ass on social media. Like, never. I've never seen you twerk on social media. I've never seen you put your toes all on screen on social media. That means she's acting out of anger. She's acting out of her emotional state. That means she's showing her true colors. She's really not governed by the relationship. And if a woman is not governed or has reverence or has respect for the situation, odds are she's painting an illusion around you. And you think it's something that it's not. You think it's something that is not. This is the main one here. This is the main one here. A woman that, and listen to what I'm saying, bro, and this is going to eliminate 90+% of women, 95 at least. If your woman doesn't have the ability to take accountability, oh, she's definitely painting the world around you. And what made me think about this, man, I was on Instagram probably 30 minutes ago, right? And I saw this brother, and I don't follow him. You know, it's one of those things that come on your feed where it's like, man, I don't follow them, but for some reason they showing this to me, right? And it's a brother, man, cool looking cat, and he has a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. And he says, you know, he got music playing, he's got B-roll playing. And he said, man, you know what? He said, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, and if I can find the clip, I'm gonna insert it. He said, you know, the thing that let me know that I wanted to marry this woman. And I'm tuned in like, dang, like, tell me, brother, because, man, to marry a woman in the year of your Lord, 2026, like, brother. He said it wasn't that she was beautiful. And again, he's showing B-roll, man, and she a baddie, man. She like an Asian chick with an afro or something, you know? And he says, not that she's beautiful. And then he said, it's not that she's like, he might have said something like caring or sweet. And again, he's showing B-roll and she's doing these sweet things. He said, it's because of this. Then he said, she's going to kill me for this. And he shows this video, and you can tell it's an older video that maybe she took on her phone and sent it to him at some point in time. And in this video, you can tell that it's just for him because she's like in house clothes. She might be looking a little, you know, not prepared to be in society. And it's a video of her, and she flips her screen around and she shows her computer screen. And on her computer screen, she types in like, I'm sorry, or it was my fault, or something like that. And brother said it's because of this. Like, that's when I knew I wanted to marry her. You know what I'm saying? And I sit back and I say, whoa. I said, man, I can think of a lot of relationships or situations I've been in, bro, to meet a woman that can sit there and say, hey, you know what? I thought about it and you were right. Like, I saw that a different way, and I was wrong. I apologize. Bro, you have better odds winning the lotto. You have better odds winning the lotto than meeting a woman that can move like that. And you gotta understand, a woman that has accountability and can put herself in a state of vulnerability. Oh, she's definitely building a world with you. It takes a lot for a woman to do that, man. So if I had to look at the other end, if you want to know if your woman is building a world for you or with you, or she's building a world on you, you know, to be an illusion, the main thing, man, can that woman be accountable for the things that take place in that world? If she's accountable, man, that means she wants the best. She has the best interest for that world. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is brothers, you know, analyze and audit your situations, man. Analyze and audit the woman in your life. Analyze and audit if, you know, when things have gone wrong and you just knew she was in the wrong and she knew she was in the wrong. Does she have the ability to say, hey, you know what? I kind of miscalculated. I'm wrong, babe. Let's get past this. I was wrong. I jacked up. I thought wrong. I also see how she conducts herself when y'all got a little beef. You know what I'm saying? Is she getting on the gram showing TNA? Is she reaching out to all her friends and family members saying you ain't shit? Is she going against the code of the relationship, man? Again, brothers, every woman has power. And every woman at all times is acting on this power because it's who she is. It's what God blessed her with. But you have to be a man that can determine if she's using this power for you or using this power on you, brothers.